I'm sorry. I just need 1 minute to make sure I look good. Do you think I look good, Mr. Armstrong? Hurry.
Love will ring for eternity. The waves will break every chain on me. My bones will bleed, my flesh will flee. So hell my life must frame to be. And God knows I'm doing what I feel now. And God knows it's the only way to feel now. With all the blood I lost with you, in trials of love I thought I knew. Be my full-time baby, I will call.
Hurry.
Love will ring for eternity. The waves will break every chain on me. My bones will bleed, my flesh will flee. So hell my life must frame to be. And God knows I'm doing what I feel now. And God knows it's the only way to feel now. With all the blood I lost with you, in trials of love I thought I knew.
I'm gonna have to like bring you down to earth for a sec. There is no way you're getting tickets for that show, but I love your enthusiasm.
Okay.
She's not just wearing your shirt because it's fucking fashionable. Her pants aren't in the fucking bedroom because they're in time out. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Get out. Ew! Ew! Oh, ew!
Those are poisonous, so no one eat them.
Yeah, duh.
Go throw up.
I didn't eat any.
Go throw up.
This homemade pie, a taste of sunshine.
That pie looks store-bought to me.
Death is seeking you at the nursing home.
All that time thinking that he didn't love me, only to find out that he did, and it was too late. I can't even tell him how angry that makes me, or how much it hurt when he left, or how terrified I was when he came back, because I knew the moment I saw him. I never stopped loving him.
Please tell me the name of the dragon who chose you.
Ternanog. And Andarna Yoram.
Both dragons?
Yes.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
You have any kids? Yes, I have one daughter. How about you? How many baby daddies do you have, if you don't mind me asking? Ellipses. I have one daughter. I understand that is she by the same father. Are you feeling nervous? Are you having fun? It's almost over, it's just begun. Don't overthink this, look in my eye. Don't be scared, don't be shy. Come on in, the water's fine. We're going to go where everybody knows everybody knows everybody. We're going to go where everybody knows everybody knows. Get
I need to feel something. Harry, can you tell me something that'll piss me off?
Boba Fett's better than Mondo.
Yep, that'll do it.
Cooking dope at the same damn time. Telling white, telling me at the same damn time. Fucking two bad bitches at the
Are you with me? Are you in or are you out?
I needed a soldier. You wanted a father.
Well, I guess we're both disappointed.
If you're offended by what I say, imagine what I'm thinking.
Okay, stop laughing at me. This is serious business.
I'm sorry. I haven't seen you crash out like this since prom. Why are you laughing at me?
Spoiler alert for a movie that's almost older than my best friend. Like, The Last Dandelion. You're distracting me. What happened?
We have to cut it out.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, editing Carly, cut.
My bones will bleed, my flesh will flee. So held my light, blood's frame to be. And God knows I'm not dying, but I'll be down. And God knows it's the only way to be now. With all the blood I lost with you, in trials of love I thought I knew. The lost dreams I buried in my sleep for him, and this was the ecstasy of love forgotten. And I'm grown in the gunfire of empty bullets, and my blood is all I see as you steal my soul from me.
So don't mind me, I'm doing morning skincare. I just saw a video where someone was saying their partner cheated on them by shifting to Hogwarts to date Hermione, and this person said, does it count as cheating if shifting isn't even real? And basically went on to start talking about how shifting isn't real, and this post had several thousand likes on it and hundreds of comments where people were talking shit saying that shifting wasn't real. And this is just your daily reminder that I wouldn't have been in this community for almost 5 years if it wasn't real. I wouldn't run a podcast about it if it wasn't real. I wouldn't base my YouTube channel around it if it wasn't real. My best friend wouldn't have a shifting symbol tattoo if it wasn't real. I wouldn't have tried to shift last night at the grown-ass age of almost 30 if it wasn't fucking real. So it's just your daily reminder, block anti-shifters and happy shifting.
ruin me. I could give a damn about my reputation in France.
In Scotland?
They will believe their queen.
Hey, a letter! I have friends! Oh, that's not a letter, that's a threat.
I'm headed home. I told you so. I told you so. So why are we not moving no more? I'm headed home. Let them know. I said I'm going. I'm going. I'm going. I learned so much from so long. How to get back up.
I mini shifted to my Hogwarts DR last night. I'm so sorry that this is coming out so late in the day. I tried to record this multiple times on TikTok. It just kept eating it. I also woke up in the afternoon, and then I'm so that person that like gaslights myself out of every attempt I've ever made. Like every time I've mini shifted, I've been like, no, I didn't. And then I have to contact the council, which is me waiting for Carly to wake up from her afternoon nap, to get some sort of help with figuring out if I did actually mini shift, either from her or her tarot cards. But we did determine I did mini shift to my Hogwarts DR last night. So now that I've given my phone time to charge and I've taken a shower, I'm gonna tell you what happened, and then I'm gonna go film the Batshit Crazy podcast later today and talk about it again, which means I'm gonna be so in the mood to shift tonight. First and foremost, before anybody asks, no, I don't know what's happening with my hair. Also, if you can hear wind, it's from the fans. Second of all, the method that I was using was a tweaked version of the Any Moment method by Carly, which you can find how I like tweak and kind of Frankenstein her method in the Any Moment method video that's on my YouTube channel. And I was using her Subliminal Haven, which I have used, I think, like 2 or 3 times before. And I'm pretty sure it was the one that I was using when I mini shifted to my Salem DR back in April, which I actually kept thinking was the Any Moment Subliminal, but apparently that came out after, and I don't know if it's ADHD or what, but I just have no concept of time. Carly and I had been on a call last night, and she was talking about the fact that she was really going to heavily hype herself up before she did her attempt. And I was like, you know what? I like never hype myself up anymore. It's more like I'm just like affirming and trying to be calm. No, I need to like yell at myself that I've got this. And it kind of just turned into me shouting at myself in the mirror at 3 o'clock in the morning. But if it works, it works. And I'm not going to disparage that. So I was hyping myself up really aggressively, and I swear to God that by the time I was done, I felt like I was vibrating as I got into bed. I think my first mistake when I was trying to shift last night was, for some reason, I convinced myself it would be a good idea to try to shift sitting up. And maybe other people can do that, but I basically just propped myself up the way that I do when I'm sick and can't sleep laying down because it hurts to breathe. Well, I just thought, even though I'm perfectly healthy, it would be a good idea to sleep like that. And that explains why my neck hurts really bad today, which means that I'm going to be very stiff-necked for the podcast tonight. I lay down and I had an eye cover on, And I started kind of like taking stock almost of my body to see which parts of my body were really stiff. And I took notice of the parts of my body that were really tense and trying to take deep breaths while focusing on those parts and affirming to myself that I'm relaxed, I'm safe, I'm calm, that kind of thing, just to get me to just kind of chill and to vibe instead of being really panicked because I deal with a lot of anxiety and paranoia during my shifting attempts. Eventually I start doing this for a while until I start affirming to myself that whether it's awake or asleep, I will shift at any moment. And I started doing that for a little bit until I started like quietly and gently reminding myself that I've done this before, I'm gonna do it again. And then that kind of shifted into I've shifted before, I am shifting again. And it kind of turned into I have shifted before, I have shifted again. And I feel like maybe talking about it as like a I already have it thing instead of I'm in the middle of trying to do it, I think that helped. And then eventually I kind of noticed that my body felt really weird, and then out of nowhere my mind started drifting, but I wasn't thinking about anything in particular. And then it was like once I noticed I was distracted and tried to bring myself back to the topic at hand, I noticed I could not feel my entire body. So I was like, okay, bet, this is the time. And I was starting to get really pumped about it. And then eventually, and I've listened to Haven before and I've never noticed it, so I was really confused. And I even asked Carly, who made the subliminal, if this happened. All of a sudden, the subliminal got extremely quiet, almost like my earbud had fallen out, or that like one of them was gone or something. And I could hear a guy talking. And I was like, hey, did you put like a man speaking very noticeably in the subliminal, and maybe I've just always fallen asleep before it happened? And she was like, no. And I was super confused, but there was like a deep man's voice and it sounded like Severus's voice. And I was like, like starting to freak out, quite frankly. And so I was trying to stay calm, and I was also starting to get really freaked out because when I mini shifted a couple years ago, I was in my MCU DR and I was hearing shit and was like, okay, I need to remind myself no one's in the room. And then like a year later, when I mini shifted for the second time, someone was talking from right next to my bed. So I have a tendency to get really panicked when I hear people talking because I think that means I'm going to wake up with other people in the room. And I'm not going to get caught meeting someone for the first time in my DR in my fucking jammies before I've had the chance to ground myself. And so I started freaking out and reminding myself, like, I'm alone in the room. There's a spell in my chambers. Nobody else can get in, even the house elves without my help. Like, no one can get in here. I'm physically so alone in this room. It's not even funny. And it was like once I acknowledged, hey, I should probably listen to what he's trying to say, it was like it stopped doing it. And it was all of a sudden, boom, the subliminal's back at full volume. He's not talking anymore. And I was like, what the fuck? And so I tried to focus, and I was like, okay, maybe I can get that back or just like ground myself. And then eventually, you know how you kind of like see stuff behind your eyes when they're closed? Well, it was like all of a sudden these weird little like random colorful swirls just kind of started forming into like a dot pattern in front of my eyes. And it wasn't like the kind where like if you push on your eyes or something, it looked like I was looking through mesh. Like there was holes, and I felt like I was like looking at something. And I was super confused. I was like, why does it look like, it was almost like there was a big piece of like mesh material over my eyes. And I was super confused. And it was at that point I realized I couldn't even feel my eye mask anymore. And then all of these weird random shapes behind my eyes started kind of forming into Severus's face. And I was seeing like images of his face. Wow, my under eye bags are going fucking crazy right now. That's how you know I'm tired. But like, it's like I could see images of his face behind my eyes, but it wasn't like clips from like edits or the movies or something. Like it was like stuff that was like from my mind, from my memories, like times that he's like looked at me in conversation. And it was like it was all kind of coming together in like little bits. And I'm like, what the fuck? So like I'm seeing his face, I'm hearing him talk, and I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. And I felt like I couldn't ground myself, and it was freaking me out. But like I also couldn't get myself to fall asleep. And I think where I really kicked myself in the ass was that I stopped focusing so much on where I was shifting and trying to ground myself to trying to go to sleep and convincing myself I was going to wake up in my DR. But then it just became too much of go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. Like it wasn't me focusing on shifting anymore. It was me trying to force myself to go to sleep. When I talked with Carly today, we determined that I aligned with some version of me in my Hogwarts DR who was falling asleep. Who was asleep and dreaming about Sev, and that's why I could hear his voice, but I couldn't tell what he was saying, and that's why I could see his face, but didn't really know what was going on, and it was from, like, my own point of view, as opposed to it being anything from the movies, and I knew I wasn't asleep, and I wasn't dreaming here, and I wasn't daydreaming, because I couldn't control it. And it feels so weird because I got up today super confused, but also I don't even have it in me to be like crazy hyper about it. Like, it's really weird because I am extremely excited, but it's like I accepted it a little easily compared to the other times. Like, I did gaslight myself a little bit, but usually I feel like I'm really mean to myself about it. And like, yeah, I started to gaslight myself when we were on the phone, and I was gaslighting myself a little bit after she and I got off the phone. But it was like being reassured like once or twice usually doesn't do it for me. Usually my imposter syndrome gets so bad that I'm like, no, I didn't shift. It's bullshit. And it takes me like several hours and multiple people's affirmation to like actually talk myself out of that anxiety. But I just know that I did it this time. And I feel like I did it. That's the difference. Like, I feel so sure. And I feel like I just saw him. I feel like I was just there. And that's so weird. I'm trying to be calm. I'm trying to be calm because I don't want to shout, because then I will alert people in my house and it will confuse and terrify them. But I need you to understand, I am truly a very strange mix of completely calm and also freaking the full fuck out.
It's always been
massively fucked me over. I will never think of you the same.
Yep.
Enjoy your bad karma.
Right.
Rotten hell.
Right.
Evil bitch.
So the story goes, Alice, heart and soul fell into a rabbit hole. Dreamers dream until they don't. Lost a mind a while ago. Alice, don't you know Wonderland was all a hoax? Made it up so she could cope. Mighty then had her Alice.
This question is for people who have already shifted, whether it's mini shift or full shift. Did you guys get really bad shifting slumps after making that kind of progress? Because I've noticed it happens every single time for me. My first and second mini shift were 2 weeks shy of being a year apart from each other. But for like 8 to 10 of those months, I didn't even try to shift because I was so burnt out. Then the time between the second and the third one was like 5 months. And I think I tried maybe twice in that entire 5-month period of time. Between my third and fourth one was like a 4-month period of time, and I don't think I started trying again until month 4. I just mini shifted a couple of days ago, and between my last one and this one, it was 3 months. And I barely tried over those 3 months because, again, I hit weird slump. I always thought that when I started making that kind of progress, I would be super excitedly trying all the time. But it's like I end up in some sort of weird slump and just can't. Is anybody else doing that, or is it just me, and why?
This one's for you and your problems, your good day job, your bad karma. What are you afraid of? The same drama, show me what you're made of. Cause you talk about your constant pain like I ain't got none. And I've learned to live beside it. And even though it's over now, I will always be reminded. Mother, I'm coming home.
I'll follow you into the park, through the jungle, through the dark. God, I never loved one like you.
I've said this before, but I feel the need to say it again. Don't ask people who do spiritual work to do their work for you for free. or shame them if they charge for their services. People who read tarot, palms, tea leaves, crystal balls, anything like that are still working. People who make subliminals and meditations and spell jars are still working. Psychics and mediums are still working. Just because someone's job is based around spiritualism rather than regular work does not mean it's not work. People in different parts of the spiritual community have been using their spirituality as a job for centuries. It's how a lot of us make it. I do tarot for $15 a pop. I used to do it for 10 and I only upped it because I have a physical disability in my hand and doing it hurts. So I didn't upcharge to make the pain worth it. But I still love my job. And I'm a disabled queer person who works for myself from home. And getting shamed for that sucks. Don't do it.
So I told Courtney, smack me and see what I do. Did she smack you? Yeah, she smacked me. Did you do something? Yeah, I did something. What'd you do? I cried. I cried for like 15 minutes.
In your passion, I was lost. 'Cause it's too close. See hours pass, let you need to ask me.
I am so sorry that this video is so late. I meant to post it hours ago. The day has completely gotten away from me. But this person asked if they could get a lore drop on my MCU DR, and I can definitely do that. If you guys want a more in-depth version of this, there's a really long explanation video on my YouTube where I talk about my MCU DR, but I will give the gist here. In my DR, I was given up for adoption. I don't know who my biological parents are, but I grew up in an orphanage in California, and I have pyrokinesis. And when my powers started to kind of get away from me and started showing and like weird shit was happening around me, somehow, and I don't actually know how, A plus B equaled C, and word got around to S.H.I.E.L.D., and Nick Fury ended up showing up trying to find out if I was a threat. I didn't know the real reason that he was showing up. I actually had no idea when I was little, because I was small. I think I was somewhere between like 7 and 10, something like that, maybe even 6. I don't remember how old I was. But I was little, and he kept showing up trying to figure out if I was some sort of threat or not. And he kind of determined I was just like a kid who didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't out to hurt anybody, and that a lot of the times my powers were getting away from me when I deemed I was in danger, or if I was hurt or scared or something like that, and that it wasn't malicious and I just needed somebody to look out for me. So Nick did his best to try to come and visit me, but of course he had other shit to do, so he couldn't be there all the time. And I was really surprised when I got older and knew what was going on that he had just left me there, but he said that he just kind of didn't have the heart to like rip me away from other kids, especially if there was some chance of me finding parents. But there was always this shit I didn't know about, where Nick kind of always intended that no matter where I ended up, he was intent on always kind of using me as a soldier eventually, and calling upon me as someone that had a long history with me to get me to like come and help save the country or whatever the fuck. And so that's why I was always in his mind for the Avengers Initiative years before it was ever pitched to the government. I was adopted by Happy Hogan when I was in high school. I believe I was 16, and I lived with Happy until I was about 20. Yeah, I lived with him until I was about 20, and I moved in with Tony after that. Tony had offered me money for college if I wanted to go, but I just didn't really see myself wanting to go to college. And so he offered me a job straight out of high school to come and work at Stark Industries. Well, over time, that just kind of blended into eventually, instead of working at Stark Industries, I was just his personal assistant. Pepper is more of his assistant by way of Stark Industries, and I'm more his personal assistant by way of like making sure things are taken care of in his personal life, to do with like his appointments, his travel, his upkeep, his home, his cars, like that kind of stuff. So like stuff that would be easy for me to handle while Pepper was dealing with stuff at the business, that way that she didn't have too much of a workload split. I've been living with Tony for several years now, and for a long time I always just looked at him as like my dad's weird goofy friend guy, and there was nothing between us. And then we kind of became best friends after I moved in with him, and we just vibed really hard, and I was living with him for years before there was ever even slight flirtation. I was well over even drinking age before any actual flirting happened, and now it's been years since I moved in with him, and there's like some flirting going on, but we haven't pursued anything because we know that it would piss off my father, because Tony is his best friend, and also because he's so much older than me, and because he's got a reputation for kind of being a player, but also on top of that, he's technically my boss, and he's also my roommate, and things just get even more complicated when eventually we make our way up to New York, and that's when Agent Coulson comes, because Nick wants to get a hold of us. But I may or may not have neglected to mention Nick as a person at all to either Tony or Happy. So eventually, when we are brought together with all the other Avengers, and I actually know Nick, it startles Tony a lot, especially since not only did I not tell him about Nick, but I did not tell him that ever since I was a little girl, I have been calling him Uncle Nicky, because that was something that he wanted me to call him in order for me to feel like more safe and comfortable and connected to him, which sometimes I wonder if it was a little bit of a manipulation, because he does eventually, like, I mean, you know Nick is a little bit, he's kind of manipulative to get what he wants and what he thinks is best for the world and the country and stuff. So I feel like that connection is kind of manipulative, which is why I've put in a lot of my scenarios or story times or anything that you look at on my account, why there's like some tumultuous crap between me and Nick. And I feel very complicated about my relationship with Nick. On one hand, I do feel like he is the person I have known the longest in my life, and I do feel like a certain part of him does actually care about me. That's why he lets me get away with calling him Uncle Nicky. That's why he devoted time to me when I was a kid. And the thing is, when I was a kid, he was actually incredibly kind with me. He's very good with kids. And he's always had a soft spot for me, and he is very kind to me. But I feel very complicated because I feel very lied to about the fact that he had these ulterior motives that he never told me about before, and it makes me kind of feel like our connection when I was a kid was a lie. It makes me feel like his care for me is bullshit, especially since sometimes he does kind of put the people he cares about on a back burner for the job. And that does kind of mess with me a lot, and it is incredibly hard to deal with because Tony is also angry that I didn't tell him about Nick. We both end up joining the Avengers. He does not like that I end up joining the Avengers, but Nick is very, very adamant about me joining the Avengers, and I was one of the first people that he had in mind for it. He actually had me in mind for it before Tony, because he kind of based the idea of wanting to get together a group of heroes on the idea that he had like me in mind somewhere in California, and I just happened to end up with Tony, which he kind of took as like a sign that eventually the Avengers Initiative was supposed to be a thing. We end up joining the Avengers along with everybody else that is part of the Avengers in the movies, and I'm there during the entire Loki situation, but the Loki situation is actually different in my DR because I have scripted out all the Thanos bullshit. So Loki attacking New York is all of his own accord, and there is no Chitauri army, and it's just him attacking people. I don't know how he got a hold of the scepter because of the lack of Thanos, but he does have that, and you know, the cube is still brought into things, kind of stuff. Like, the little bits of stuff are still part of it somehow without Thanos. But he does basically decide to attack on his own and believes that he himself can take on New York and somehow take over the world as a result, because he is trying to kind of play a big fuck you at his father and prove himself to his brother and stuff. And so instead of it being us against an army that's backed by Thanos, it's just us against him. And it is still a lot of bullshit because he does still attack us when all of the Avengers are just now starting to get their head wrapped around shit, and he does still attack New York, but he is doing all of it by himself and then with his little like trickster clones, so he does still technically have like low-key kind of help with him, but he is technically by himself. He does not kill anybody like he does in the movies, and the Battle of New York is more like an altercation of New York, and it's stopped kind of soon in. There's a lot of fighting between us and him, but I did decide to script in a little like main character moment, and instead of Nat going and talking to him while he's imprisoned on the SHIELD ship, it's me, and we make this kind of like prior connection where he feels like I kind of see him in a way that other people don't. And then because of that connection, I'm able to talk him down during the fight in New York. And then that leads into the end of the events in New York, and the Avengers are formed by then. And that kind of sets my DR in a direction of us being part of the Avengers and fighting crime. So I don't know where the rest of it's going to go after that. I'm assuming Age of Ultron is going to happen after that. And that kind of scares the shit out of me. But I do feel like I'll have to have some tweaked version of the events just to get Wanda and Pietro in. So yeah, if anybody wants a more in-detailed version of that, it's on the tube of you. But yeah, if you have any questions, just ask them in the comments and I will respond.